likely ease inflationary pressures.
All right, that was Jen Psaki. It was kind of cut off at the end there, but essentially she was quoting from a letter by Austin Goolsbee and 70 other economists saying that spending $3.5 trillion on this new spending plan that the House just approved of was actually going to lower inflation. Joining us now to try and help us understand all this is Art Laffer, former Reagan economic advisor. Art, great to see you. Thank you for being here. Can you explain?
Good to see you, David. My pleasure.
Can you explain how you can lower prices, lower inflation, which is what these economists said you can do, by spending so much more money, which many people say is actually what's causing more inflation?
Well, and also raising taxes dramatically. Yeah. And that extra $3.5 trillion, they're going to raise the personal income tax. They're going to raise the corporate tax. They're going to raise the capital gains tax. There are all sorts of other taxes involved there. It's $3.5 trillion. But, David, can I go through this with you a little bit logically for a second? Because the killer to me is lower growth. Now, with lower growth, you are going to get higher inflation. You're going to get a worse economy. But what this all is, all this $3.5 trillion, is all transfer payments where you take from someone who has more and you give to someone who has less. By taking from someone who has more, the rich guys, what you've done is you've reduced their incentives to produce, and they will produce less. Their production will go down. Now, by giving to people who have less, you provide them with an alternative source of income other than working, and they too will produce less. Transfer payments, it's math, it's economics, it's not partisan. Whenever you have transfer payments, you reduce growth. The more your transfer payments you have, the greater will be the reduction in growth. This bill is a massive increase in transfer payments, and it will reduce economic growth of the United States considerably and will near very much to our detriment over the next decade. We will have very slow growth over this next decade because of this bill.
And it's not happening in a vacuum either, Art. It's happening at a time when we have 10 million unfilled jobs because of Biden policies concerning, payments for the unemployed and continuing those payments. We're probably going to continue it beyond the September deadline where they were going to stop. And if you have 10 million unfilled jobs, that means 10 million fewer people making things and providing services.
Yes.
And if you have fewer services and a shorter amount of supply of goods, that means higher inflation as well.
Well, it does, but I wouldn't really focus on I don't really focus, so you can focus on what you want. I don't focus on the inflation aspects. That's bad, and I think that's true what you say. But I'm really looking at the incentives to produce. When you give people money without requiring them to work for it, they will not work. There's just something real fundamental about it. Work for many people, especially in the lower echelons of work labor, aren't fun jobs, and they don't want to work there unless they get paid, unless it means something to them in their lives. So if you pay them without working, they won't work, and that will reduce the overall growth and productivity of the United States, and that will last for years to come. $3.5 trillion is not a small share of GDP. That's something like 17% of GDP. I mean, if you take a 20 trillion GDP, $3.5 trillion of that is, what, 17, 18% of GDP? I mean, it's a lot of money, and it will last for a long time. And once these people, David, get used to not working, once they haven't worked for a year, 2, 3 years, they don't lose their skills. They won't be able to work. And if they did work, their productivity would be much less.
Well, so by then, by the way, we're probably going to run out of money.
Not to be part of the labor force, which means you can't take it back. You can't come back.
As Maggie Thatcher said,
that's the real crime.
The real problem with socialism, you run out of other people's money, and it's not going to take that long when you're spending these trillions of dollars. There's also something else we got to talk about, which is this idiotic and I think unpatriotic plan to kill fossil fuel production in the United States, while at the same time that we're killing U.S. production of fossil fuels, we're encouraging fossil fuel production and growth and distribution by Russia, by OPEC and the others, and they do it in a much dirtier fashion than we would. So the whole global economy or the whole global environment is getting dirtier and presumably, according to their standards, adding to climate change, et cetera. I mean, that also is causing an increase in prices, particularly in energy.
there's a ton of hypocrisy there on fossil fuels. That's very true. But let's imagine for the moment there is global warming. Let's just imagine, and I don't know what your views are, David, and I surely know I don't know whether there is or not. I'm not an expert in that area. But if there is, what you'd want to do is you'd want to tax carbon, and then you'd want to use the proceeds to reduce income tax rates so you offset the economic damage done by the carbon tax by lowering income taxes to create more incentives to grow and have output. Al Gore and I did a lot of work on this together. I had a piece in the New York Times years ago with a congressman espousing a plan where we had a carbon tax 100% offset by an income or payroll tax rate reduction, and that would leave it neutral with respect to the economy and would address the global warming issue. But these Democrats aren't doing that. They aren't doing it at all.
Art, we
they
have
want
to
the
go.
carbon tax to get the money.
We have literally run out of time.
Say hello to
but
Biden for me, would you?
I just want to ask one final question. Isn't all of this far more destructive than what we saw during the Obama administration, which their policies led to the slowest economic recovery on record, or at least since World War II? Isn't this a little worse than that in terms of what they're doing policies? Very quick answer.
It's much worse. It's much, much worse, and it will lead to a lot worse consequences over a lot longer time period.
Art Laffer, great to see Art, and I will pass along your regards
Thank you,
to Larry.
David.
Indeed. Coming up next,